Is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Bet Daily, March 17, 2023. Day 2 of the NCAA tournament. Aaron, we talked about this yesterday. It was just me and you. We got a full house today, so Magic, Papa Dude, welcome back. We talked about the first half unders yesterday. They went 11-5. All 5 games that went over featured a 1 or a 2 seed, and 4 of those 5, that higher seeded team scored 40-plus points. Just gold in the first half unders, man.
They were gold, and it's the formula that you laid out. You know, a little bit nervous first game, and you know you don't shoot very well. You got new gyms for these guys that shoot the 3, and it takes a little while to adjust. And again, you watch these games, and it's like there's 2,000 or 3,000 people in this building, and we're in the middle of nowhere, and it's just kind of a culture shock at first. And it was a great point out by you, and it worked out.
So hopefully we can keep those first half unders rolling today, Papa Dude. What are your thoughts real quick on the first day of that tournament?
Well, it was crazy, just like we thought it'd be. No doubt about it. It was up and down. Really worried about Houston. That's the big thought I got coming out of it with the injuries and everything. It's not good for them. So we'll see what happens. That's something you're going to have to look at. And then good old Arizona came through. That was good too. So those are the 2 biggies.
Yeah, you got to think at some point Houston's lack of ability to score the basketball is going to catch up with them. We'll see what round that happens. Magic, Arizona goes down, but UCLA advances. Arizona State looked good. And our first game of the day here is going to be USC versus Michigan State. So we got another Pac-10 school, or Pac-12 school, I'm sorry, in play here. Total sitting at 137. Magic, what'd you do with this one?
I think this is off of the stats you were talking about with the unders. I think this game is low scoring. I would take the under 137 in this spot. Which, by the way, you tweeted out a great stat, was 11-5. It's why you guys need to follow Mike on Twitter, especially during the tournament. If you're going to be betting this thing, Mike is going to be retweeting and sending out stats left, right, and center. It's going to make me and my stats on this show look like nothing, but not that strong on defense. The Big Ten, I know everybody's been down on for a long time. So I would go ahead and take the under 137.
Yeah, I played under first half. Shocker. 63 was the total there. Aaron, when you're handicapping a game like this and you have a West Coast team starting at 9:15 a.m. Pacific, does that affect how you want to play the game?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's definitely the factor to go under, like you guys were saying. I'm with you. I don't like a side in this game. I think it's a toss-up. I don't like the Big Ten, but I also don't like USC. So it's kind of one of those like Northwestern Boise yesterday. I just couldn't pick a side. But as far as the total goes, give me that under 137. Give me that under first half total as well.
Papa Dude, what do you like here?
I think USC is better. I don't like USC in Columbus, Ohio at 9 o'clock their time. I don't. I'm sure they've been there a couple of days, but I don't like that. So I'm going to go with Michigan State. I do think USC is a better team and they could win, but I'm going to go with the Spartans because it's in Columbus. That's not very far from where they're at.
Now, Papa Dude, this is one of those that I thought maybe a halftime play is worth it on USC. If they keep the game close and you can get them plus a couple points in the second half, do you think that makes sense? Because they'll get a little more oriented with the time?
It does. It definitely does. I think they're better than Michigan State. It's just, will they be able to handle the surroundings at that time? I think they got a very tough draw playing that early in the day.
Yeah, we saw Iowa yesterday get beat by Auburn, and Auburn playing a de facto home game. Feels like that's going to be similar to what we're going to see here with Michigan State and USC. Let's head over to one of the more interesting games of the day. VCU +4 taking on St. Mary's. This is a 5-12 matchup. We haven't seen one of those upsets yet. Total sitting at 123.5. St. Mary's, one of those teams that Ken Palm's ratings loves. VCU, very good defensive team and probably the best press team in the nation here. Aaron, we'll kick it off with you. What are you going to do here?
I'm all over VCU in this spot. You mentioned it. We haven't seen that 5-12 upset yet. I think we're going to get it here. I'm not a huge fan of St. Mary's. I haven't really been all year long. You know, VCU, you kind of touched on it. They play very good defense. I'll take them plus the 4. I've got them money line sprinkled in there a little bit as well. I've got them advancing here. I like VCU to pull the upset here.
We got some disagreement in the chat here. Rob calling St. Mary's. Jason running in with VCU. This one's going to be a hotly contested game, Papa Dude. There's money coming in on both sides. Haven't seen the total move much since they originally posted it. What are you thinking here?
I'm rolling with VCU as well. I saw them a little bit more than I have St. Mary's. I think they're sneaky good. I'm not real high on St. Mary's. Magic may know a little bit more about them since they're on the West Coast, but I'm going to go with VCU in an upset.
The last memory we have of St. Mary's getting rolled by Gonzaga in the conference final tournament, and that was something to watch, man. They could not handle Gonzaga's pressure. VCU's maybe trouble for them today. Magic, where'd you go?
I'm gonna go with St. Mary's. I'll buck the trend. They're 12-1 against the spread in their last 13 games, following a straight up loss, and it doesn't get much more of a straight up loss than what happened against Gonzaga last time. But Gonzaga looks pretty damn good. They're number one overall in offensive efficiency. We're gonna talk about their game later on here. The VCU Rams, they only played 2 teams inside the top 70 for the Ken Palm during the season. Both of them losses. They didn't do very good. I think the fact that the Atlantic 10, not that strong of a conference, it's going to help St. Mary's here. Defensive battle, that's why you see the total so low. I will take St. Mary's. The 4 is like right at the line where I would take it, though.
Yeah, I'd lean VCU, but I don't really love it. Aaron, what do you think I'm going to bet here?
I think you're going to bet a first half under.
You nailed it. How'd you know? Yeah, I'm taking the first half under here. You got 2 teams that don't play fast. They're going to play slow, and a VCU with a good defense, it's going to press and create a short shot clock for St. Mary's. Yeah, give me the first half under here to just keep rolling with the tendencies. All right, let's head out to an 11-5 match or 11-6 matchup now. We got NC State taking on Creighton. Creighton laying 5, total sitting at 148.5. Magic, we'll kick it off with you. What do you like here?
Oh, boy, this is another spot where I think you're going to see a lot of offense. I actually like, how about Creighton? Can we do Creighton with a team total over? I think they've got a pretty good offense, especially compared to NC State's defense. They're ranked 145th in the country. That's bad. There's only 5 at-large teams that are ranked lower than them. Like, that's really, really bad. I think Creighton scores a lot. I don't know if we get to 148.5, though, but I see Creighton had a team total of 76.5 that I saw on FanDuel, so I'll roll with that.
Papa Dude?
I like Creighton a lot in this game. I'm not sure NC State belongs in the tournament. A lot of people are saying that. I think Creighton covers this 5 pretty easy. This was one I thought about betting today. So I'm going to go the Blue Jays to win big today.
Creighton, big. This was almost my best bet as well. I think Creighton's going to absolutely blow NC State out today. They're a sneaky good team. People don't realize how good Creighton is. They've got inside and outside presence. They can play some defense. And I agree with Papa Dude. NC State probably shouldn't be in the tournament right now, especially with how bad the ACC has been. We saw Virginia go down. Duke obviously looked very good yesterday against Oral Roberts, but that was as much Oral Roberts not showing up as anything else. Aaron, who do you like in this spot?
It's Creighton all the way for me. I've got them going a long ways in this tournament. I'm with you guys. I think they're really a good team. And, I think this could still be a little tricky, though. I think this North Carolina State team's a little bit better than what you guys think. I think the ACC is going to show they're a little bit better than what we thought, again, for the second straight year. End of the day, though, I think Creighton's underseeded. I thought they were a little bit better than a 6 seed. It's a matchup. I got to go with Creighton because I just really have liked this team all season.
Tony going to be in the house today, rooting for the Wolfpack. Good luck, Tony. All the best. I love going to these games. I've been fortunate enough to go to a couple opening round games. Absolute blast. It's hilarious too when you're into there and everyone is rooting for the lower seed except for the higher seeded team. Everyone wants to root for the dog when they're actually in the stadium. So a fun little trend you get to see there. All right, let's head over to another 12-5 matchup, another very close game, and another ACC team, actually your co-ACC champions, the Miami Hurricane, laying 2.5, taking on Drake, a team that's been quite popular on this show, I have to say. I know, Papa Dude, you've bet Drake a couple times. Total sitting at 146 for this game. Are you going to stick with Drake? You going with Miami? You're going toward the total, Papa Dude?
Very tricky game here. I'm going to stick with Miami in this one. I'm not a big fan of Drake's defensive abilities. I think Miami can slow them down. I know Aaron really likes Drake, and I don't blame him at all. They are a very good team, came out of a pretty good league. I just think Miami's a little bit tougher than they are, a little bit more physical. Wouldn't be surprised if Drake wins, but I'm going to take Miami.
All right, Aaron, I'll let you talk about Drake a little bit since you love him, huh?
Not so fast, Papa Dude. Give me Drake. You gotta love the Drake. Drake Bulldogs here for me. I've got them going to the Sweet 16. I think they're a really good team for this tournament. I think they're built to win in the tournament. They do draw a very tough matchup. I will concede that. Miami, very good team. But you know what? Oral Roberts drew Duke. Drake draws Miami. There's a big difference between Duke and Miami when you get to March. Give me Drake. I think they upset Miami today.
Yeah, one of those two is a conference champion. That would be Miami. I guess Duke
You know
won the
what?
tournament. So we can say both of them are. All right.
Who would you rather have to beat if you were coaching a mid-major, Duke or Miami?
It's interesting you say that. I think it's pretty close because this Miami team has a chip on their shoulder. They put out a video about being dissed all season because no one picked them. They got the ACC Player of the Year, the co-champions in the conference. Like, they are not a happy camper there getting a 5 seed. They thought they should be a 3 or a 4. Metrics have hated them all year, Magic. I know you mentioned KenPom earlier. Drake higher rated in KenPom than Miami here. This is a situation where analytics love Drake, hate Miami, yet Miami's sitting there 2.5 as a favorite. What'd you do with this, Magic?
I've actually seen some spots where it's gone to as low as 1.5. There was a lot of steam that's coming in on Drake. You talk about them being a big darling. I think this is like one of those cases where I love to use this angle in betting football is when you see the crowd, the public, all of the money, just all the momentum is just so heavy in one region, especially on an underdog like this. At some point, the line breaks and it's like, we're too far to one side. We need to go back. So I like Miami here. I don't think that anything higher than 3 is playable for Miami, but I think that they are going to get the win and cover against Drake.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the money shakes up as we get later in the day, especially if this is going to be your last 12-5 matchup and none have had produced an upset yet. All right, let's go to a game that Magic teased a little bit earlier. Grand Canyon taking on Gonzaga. Gonzaga laying 15.5, total sitting at 154.5. Been really interesting to see the movement on this. Bookmaker had it as high as 16.5 when everyone else was at 15.5. Circa had it at 16 when everyone else at 15.5. Two of the sharper books laying more juice with Gonzaga. It's still available at 15.5 in most places. Total sitting at 154.5. This feels like not a first half over under. This is one of those situations where Gonzaga could put up 50 and break the over themselves. Aaron, what'd you do here?
I would be shocked if Gonzaga struggles here. I don't want to lay 15.5 points in this tournament with anybody, to be completely honest. You kind of saw it yesterday. If you laid the points with Alabama and then a 0-3 at the buzzer beats you, I mean, that's unbelievable. But that's what happens. All these games do tend to kind of glom up and be closer than what you think. So I don't really have any interest betting the game here. But I do think Gonzaga is not going to have much problem with Grand Canyon. This is a very experienced Gonzaga team. I think they show up. I think they take care of business.
I like Gonzaga quite a bit here. I'm going to lay the 15.5 with them. I like them in the first half even more. I think that they're going to come out and score. Grand Canyon likes to run. That's not a good thing to do against Gonzaga. It's gonna end poorly for you if you try and go up and down the floor with them, right, Papa Dude?
Yeah, you got to guard them. You got to frustrate them. You try to play their game, they're going to beat you. So I like Gonzaga a lot in this one. I'm going to go them to cover.
Yeah, team total for Gonzaga sitting at 87.5. I think that's probably an over as well, Magic. What are you taking here?
How about Gonzaga to just blow the shit out of Grand Canyon in the first half? I don't know what the actual line is, but if you get anything, I think under 10, then just play Gonzaga. I think that they just absolutely destroy them early. You're close, Jason. Not the Fighting Donkeys, the Antelopes. I'm not sure which one of those is worse, to be quite honest, but they are the Antelopes. No, the Bulldogs. Antelope? The Bulldogs are going to chase down those antelopes, just go on those antelope carcasses. Full bellies by halftime, boys. Full bellies by halftime.
All the antelopes you can eat. All right, let's head over to the race of the day here. Oakland, race number 9. We're doing this one specially for Aaron because Aaron wanted to use this as his best bet. So we'll let Aaron take this away here. Who do you like, buddy?
Yeah, I was between 2, and I picked the safer one, so we'll talk about the best bet in a minute. But as far as a horse that I really like in here that I almost took, I took the number 3 Life is Hard in the 9th race at Oakland here. I really like this horse. Had been really, really good at Oakland last season. Went to Churchill, kind of struggled, laid the horse off for a long time, which shows me he had a little bit of problems. Came back last time out in a loaded allowance. The allowance was so good that Papa Dude and I talked about it as a preview. We usually talk about stakes on that Thursday show that we do, but we actually talked about that race. Cogburn was in the race. He is one of the heavy favorites, but one of the 2 or 3 short prices in the Whitmore tomorrow. Cogburn was barely able to hold off Life is Hard. Like I said, that was his first race off of a long layoff. If Life is Hard progresses today, he's going to be really tough to hold off. It's a full field of 12. There's a ton of pace in this race. He should be able to mow them down late. I really like number 3 Life is Hard in the spot.
Much better sprinter than horse going 2 turns, it feels like.
Yes.
They should keep this one short. Do not stretch him out. By the way, the horse that ran 3rd, Spector, came back to win in that allowance as well.
Yes.
So you got a key race shaping up there, but not so fast, my friend. Give me the 7 horse. I'm going to take Albizu. You mentioned it. There is a ton of pace in here. This one wants to come from off of it with Diodoro. Loves the slop, which I think is a factor as well. Right now, it's good. It may rain later in Arkansas. If it does, I think that benefits this horse. 3 trips over and off track, 1 win, 1 second, 1/3, including a career best buyer, winning at this distance, 3 back at this track. Taurus has been on fire as well. Bug popping off at 21%. So give me the 7 horse Albizu, but I do think Life is Hard could be very difficult today. Papa Dude likes going last. Magic, who do you got here?
I'm with Aaron. I like Life is Hard. The horse has made 4 starts at Oaklawn Park. 2 wins, both by open lengths, 2 seconds, both by a neck. You talked about Cockburn winning that race last time out, and he's a really strong horse. It's a Munnings horse at Oaklawn Park, and if we get any kind of wetness in the track, I mean, come on, you just print money last year doing this angle. Just Life is Hard in the slot because he's the son of Munnings at Oaklawn.
I do agree with the Munnings part at Oaklawn. I'm going to ignore the other part of it. Papa Dude, what do you got?
I like Life is Hard too, but dadgummit, I didn't think anyone was going to mention the 7 because that's I like the horse too because my gosh, there's speed all over the place in this race, and this is not a bad horse. And you got Diodoro and Torres, which is money in the bank at Oaklawn right now. I could see this horse coming off the pace and maybe winning, but the other one is too good, I think. So I'm going to go 3, but I'm very wary of the 7.
Yeah, should be a fun race. Maybe we'll play a little 3-7 exacta box there. Get a nice little price home with the 7. The beautiful part of this race, and really Oaklawn in general, this full field will give you the value to be able to make a win bet here on the 3.
Oh, yeah.
You're not going to see. What do you think he goes off at, Aaron? 7-2, 3-1, somewhere in that range?
Yeah, I think the morning lines are pretty accurate and pretty much where they're going to be. Maybe you drop down to 5-2 or 2-1 on Life is Hard, but if you like that 7, I think you're going to get every bit of 5-1 because you've got a full field, like you said, and there's other contenders in here. If that speed doesn't develop like we think, the 1 or the 2 might be able to take him gate to wire. So there's a lot of ways to go. You're going to get your price.
All right, let's jump into the best bets of the day here. We'll kick it off with Aaron, and we actually both were considering taking this one. So I'll let you start off and tell us why you love the Caps today.
Well, you just have to take whoever's playing the Blues right now. You just have to. Their goaltending situation is just a mess. Bennington's out 2 games after trying to kill a guy. So that was interesting. And I don't know why they didn't let the goalies fight. That would have been an all-time moment and the best moment of the season for the Blues, which tells you how bad we are. That a goalie fight would have been the best moment of the season. So I'm taking the Caps today. The Blues are in Washington for this game. The Caps need to win. Like, they're still in the playoff race. We're trying to lose. So we got Grice in the net tonight. I don't know, guys. He might be an upgrade from Bennington. Maybe that's a negative. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's
Magic can touch on that. Is Grice an upgrade, Magic?
I'm an upgrade over Grice.
Me too.
Well,
Let's suit up, Papa Dude. I'd pay to see that. I'd buy a ticket.
Emergency call up.
You're getting plus money, and you're getting a significant plus money for a sports wager.
Yeah.
I think it's a lock to play the Caps -1.5 tonight.
P.S. The Blues still the worst team with an empty net as well. So if the Blues are down 1, that is also a big time positive there. End of game for the Caps -1.5. Aaron, did you see the video? They had Fleury mic'd up. Did you see the video on the Wild's feed?
Yes.
Oh, talk about this. I didn't see it. Talk about it.
Phenomenal. Fleury skates up the ice, gets all pissed off at the linesman because he wouldn't let him fight him.
He'd have killed him.
He literally says, dude's trying to fight someone all the time. Let me fight him. Like, let me go,
Fleury would have killed him. If Bunge didn't have his stick, Fleury would have killed him. He would have killed him.
Well, it was also funny because they separated him, and Fleury goes, "Come on, let's get this crowd fired up," because the crowd's going nuts. They want to see it, I have no idea why they kept them separate. That was crazy.
Yeah, they should have just let him go. There's one linesman holding Biddington, and the other one came over. And then Fleury tried to get away like 2 or 3 times. And at the end goes, man, you got to let me go. I don't like my hair like this. So,
to Biddington's credit, he was ready to go. Like, they wanted to fight. Yeah.
Would have been a fun one. Biddington gets.
And how about the Blues? How about the Blues? They really responded to that in a very, very, very fighting way, didn't they? There's their goalie going after somebody with a stick. He got hit in the net, and let's just go out and give up 4 goals. Bam, 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 or 3, whatever it was. Nice job, Blues.
Without Kirill Kaprizov either. The Wild's best player is out, and they give up 8 to a team that can't score. Always a good sign. All right, my best bet. This one's tipping off pretty soon. Give me Kennesaw State plus the 12. This is a situation where Kennesaw State shoots the three very well. Xavier has no interest in defending the 3-point shot. I think Kennesaw State's going to be able to score today. This is one where I'm going to sprinkle a little bit on the money line, but not nearly as much. I was about 50-50 with Furman yesterday. I'm going to be more like 90-10 here with Kennesaw State with a little bit on that money line, maybe throw them in a couple money line parlays. But I think they're going to show out very well today against Xavier. I'll take Kennesaw State plus the 12. You actually get 12.5 a couple spots right now as well if you want to shop around a little bit there. Papa Dude, you're taking a dog as well. Let's talk about it.
I'm going with your thoughts. Really, I just we're seeing this a little bit. And by the way, I took Louisiana last night. I believe that's the worst basketball game I ever watched.
Yeah, it was
in
horrible.
the NCAA tournament. That's the worst effort by a 4 seed I've ever. That was horrible. Horrible. They acted like they had no idea what to do on offense.
Yep.
And Louisiana had no shooters. Zero.
I was so pissed off that you bet this game and I had to watch it. I was sitting there going, good Lord, just blow them out of cover. I mean,
this is how pissed off I was.
The quad box. Because then you can still watch the other game. The quad box. YouTube TV has a quad box of all games at the same time. So you can watch it, but not have to actually watch it. And make
it was so bad. I haven't had any sleep because my wife's back's down and she's in bad shape, and I've been up too. So I thought, I ain't watching this shit. I'm not watching. So then I saw Houston was struggling. Yeah. Okay. And I wanted to go to bed at 9:30. I really did because I didn't get any sleep. Anyway, I had to watch Houston because I'm afraid they were going to lose. And then Aaron texted me and said, we're back in the hunt. I'd give up on Louisiana. My God, they couldn't score. I've never seen shooting as poor as that. But anyway, back.
Awful.
It was awful. Yeah. It was awful. I don't know how they won 27 games. Anyway.
How they won 2.
Well, how's Tennessee won? You know, that's golly. Anyway, back to this one. Baylor is kind of similar coming into this tournament. I don't like the way they're playing at all. They're up and down. They're not playing worth a crap. UCSB can muck it up a little bit. They're pretty good defensively. I think they're going to frustrate the crap out of Baylor. And the game's pretty early. And so I get it over with today. That's good. So I think I love the spread, 10.5. I think they're going to hang in there. Magic may have some secrets on UCSB. I don't know. But I think they're pretty good. I think they're out of a decent league, you know. So that's right. You live in Santa Barbara. I like this. I like this game. I do. So I'm going to go UCSB plus 10.5 over a Baylor team that's struggling.
Papa Dude, what is the Gauchos home court called?
A Jim Rome court.
Magical like this. It's the Thunderdome. One of the better names for college basketball teams.
Love it.
Right.
Especially one that you don't really think of as a place that would have the Thunderdome.
Well, I bet Jim Rome's fired up today because this is his alma mater.
Yep.
I can tell you all of Santa Barbara is buzzing. Not for this game. They're just looking forward to drinking some green beer today. Santa Barbara very good on the inside. They're one of the best 2-point percentage shooting teams in the country. I kind of tend to agree with you, Papa Dude. I like the first half under in this game as well, but I think Santa Barbara is probably the right side. All right, Magic. Tell us about your over.
Yeah, no, bucking the trend, and that's great because you start to show off talking about how great the first half unders did. I'm like, well, great. Now I'm betting not first half. This is going to be at least for the full game, the full over here. A couple reasons. First of all, you got the reigning national player of the year in Oscar Tshiebwe for the Kentucky Wildcats. But if you remember last year, what happened to Kentucky in the first round? They got bounced by the St. Peter's Peacocks. You got beat by a team called the Peacocks. That's just, and they were a 15 seed. I don't know which of those two things is worse. If you think that these players aren't motivated, guys like Tshiebwe who are around for that, you think they're not motivated to come back out in the first round? And after seeing the upsets yesterday, they're like, we don't want this shit again. They're like, this was really bad. The players all watch the games. They know what's going on. Watch out for Antonio Reeves for the Wildcats. I think he's the key why this ends up going over. He's been going off behind the arc very steadily, especially getting hotter with each game leading up to the tournament here. You've got Kason Wallace will be back for Kentucky. Severe Wheeler's probably out for the Wildcats for probably until at least the second round games if they get that far. The big reason I didn't want to take Kentucky with the points, they're terrible at putting teams away. They'll go out there and score all day long, but as far as covering, I think they've only done like 3 of their last 17 games. That's ridiculous for a blue blood team like Kentucky. Providence has a guy named Bryce Hopkins, former Kentucky Wildcat, transferred to Providence. Providence has lost 4 of their last 5 games. They're not doing great. I think Bryce Hopkins comes out and is motivated to try and beat down his former team in Kentucky, and that's what keeps this game close. It'll be a high-scoring game to make up for all of the very bad defensive efforts we're going to watch this morning. So give me Providence, Kentucky over 143.
Yeah, no one on either of these teams is majoring in consistency because both of them have been a mess all year long. Just up and down and up and down. We'll see which teams show up. If they both show up with their best effort, this is one of those that could easily get over that 143 total. It's a tough one to bet because I can't trust either of these teams. It's been a wild season for both of them. All right, before we sign off here, Aaron, what are you looking forward to the most today here on St. Patrick's Day?
Oh boy, what a great question. I'm looking forward to getting off this show and going downstairs and putting on the 4-screen and just and then having the computer with Gulfstream and Oakland on and just vegging out for 12 hours. Yeah, 12 hours.
I didn't realize that was upstairs. I just assumed that was downstairs where you are right now.
No, I'm upstairs.
Wow, interesting. Okay, good to know if you're ever going to rob the Halterman house. Papa Dude, are you going to drink 1 pitcher or 2 pitchers of green beer?
I didn't even know it was St. Patrick's Day till you just mentioned it. So, no.
Yeah.
I'm not doing either one. My best thing of the day is I've got her knocked out right now. And
Not being your wife.
Yeah.
Because of her back. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's amazing what this will do. No. So. That's not true. But got her to the doctor a while ago and got 2 shots and getting ready to go get some pain pills. I think that's even going to be better. I do have to wake her up at 3:30 because we're going to the chiropractor for another treatment that doesn't work. But anyway, we're going to do it anyhow. Another $60 out the window. Who cares? So, so I'm looking forward to a nice, relaxing afternoon.
Excellent. All right. Well, on that note,
what are you looking forward to?
Let's just go ahead and go over the best bets of the day. Sorry, Magic. We don't get to hear about what you're excited about. Aaron taking the Caps -1.5 plus 150. Papa Dude, UCSB plus 10.5. I'm going to take Kennesaw State plus the 12.5. Now readily available. Magic taking Providence, Kentucky over 143. 4-2 for the week, up $350, up $212 year to date off $100 base bet. Thank you very much for joining us, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow with more talk around the NCAA March Madness, NCAA tournament, and we also have more of the NBA and NHL now that we've got these 2 days of 16 games out of the way. So we will see you all tomorrow. Good luck with all of your bets.